Welcome to WO50, Women Over 50 in Body Wisdom and Wellness.
Yes, we do. And my name is Corrine, and I'm here with my BFF of many years, Eddie Canny. And today, our topic was vulnerability when faced with health challenges.
Great topic, and we dove deep.
We did a deep dive. We talked about my injury recently and how I dealt with that. We talk about the challenges that we have as we get older, where maybe our body doesn't heal as quickly, and the importance of not labeling yourself a couch potato and being okay with the body's timeline of healing.
Just allowing yourself to be and changing your relationship with that idea of getting older and being vulnerable and being okay with it.
The body is vulnerable anyway, no matter what age you are. But as we get older, it takes longer to heal. And then you discuss about some of the ways that you can make sure you're healing optimally with food. And you discuss just briefly about that.
Yeah, and we also talked about your session with the cougar and then our meaning behind cougars. And
enjoy this conversation. And we had fun. We hope you do too. Hi, Ed.
Hi, Ken.
Oh my gosh, it's been a minute.
It has. It's been a busy time of year.
Summertime, when you only have a very short amount of summer up there in Canada, and we both are busy. I was in Western Canada. You're home in Eastern Canada.
How was your trip?
My trip was awesome. I just got back like 2 days ago. I was there for almost 3 weeks, which was amazing to be out of this heat here. And I just love British Columbia so much.
It's a beautiful part of the world.
Oh my gosh. Every time I go home, it's like the people are so nice, and not that Americans aren't nice, but Canadians are very special. I do say so myself. I mean, I haven't gone a long time. You think so too?
Yes. Well, I'm here. I'm in Canada.
I know. You're very nice.
All people are wonderful, but I do agree. I think Canadians have a good reputation for being friendly and warm, and
yeah. And I'm always
keep it.
What's that?
Hopefully we can keep that reputation.
Yes. Yeah, because Americans don't. I think they know that, don't really have that reputation around the world. Although I'm obviously been living in the States for many, many years, and I consider myself American and Canadian both. And they're awesome, but there's something different about Canadians and Canadian men. I love them so much. They're so sweet and soft-hearted, And then also I'm just a BC girl at heart. I just love the Pacific Northwest mountains and the trees and the landscaping and hiking with my sister. I didn't tell you about the cougar.
No, you didn't.
We encountered a cougar on our hike.
Wow. Well, we had some coyotes when we were out around the ocean, and we heard them in the night yelling. Cougars and coyotes.
Heard them in the night yelling?
Yes, they were yelling. Like we have this story one day we'll tell. Lots of cats and coyotes and foxes come around me for some reason.
Yes, we will tell the fox. I actually just told the fox story just a few days ago to my sister and my niece, but which we'll have to tell now since we've mentioned it, Eddie's fox story. But I want to tell you my cougar story first. So my sister and I were hiking in Langley, which is right outside of Vancouver. And they have these beautiful hikes there's a dog park there. And then all of a sudden you're like in the forest and there's a hiking trail and stuff. And we were just on the second part of this trail. So we just come off. So we're not too far from the entrance. And I thought I heard something, and I'll go back to that in a second because I discounted it. And then all of a sudden my sister stops dead in her tracks. And she's like, we're going to stop our hike now, and we're just going to back up. And I didn't know what was going on, and we're going to turn around, and like, what? And so we're after we're safely out of that area and we're sort of on the other side of this fence and walking, she goes, I'm pretty sure that was a cougar. And I was like, what? I said, you're kidding. Like 2 minutes before that, I heard a growl, a purry, like big cat purr. But I didn't think because we've been talking about bears, we hadn't been talking about cougars. So she said she saw something slink up ahead. So that means it was behind us, then it was ahead of us.
Wow.
And it slinked up ahead, and it was brown, and it wasn't like a trot, like a dog or anything like that. And she said she got the chills too, like the hair on the back of her neck.
Yeah.
So then we go home and she's kind of looking online over the next couple of days and couldn't find anything about it, but told a couple of friends, told her husband and stuff. 3 days later, her friends on Facebook on their local group,
Mm-hmm.
and there's 10 sightings in that same park of cougar sightings.
Oh,
So it
wow.
was a cougar for sure.
Wow.
And apparently, this time of year, the young cougars are looking for new territories. The young male cougars are looking for new territories, and they're
Mm.
also the most unpredictable.
Wow. Wow. Looking for new territory and unpredictable. And that's why sometimes older women get that name. I'm kidding. I hate that term. I had to throw that in there. I was listening to your story. I really was the whole time.
The whole time you were thinking about that. That's
Yes.
just where your brain goes. And I've told that story like 10 times in the past couple of weeks, and that has not crossed my mind. And my mother was the original cougar, and I was actually, my grandmother was, then my mother, and then me.
Oh, it's good. And then you actually almost saw a cougar. You heard the
And then
purr,
almost,
but
yeah.
yeah. No, we get lynxes up in this part of the world.
Oh, they're so pretty.
Yeah, they're gorgeous, but there's not many sightings, but there were a couple this year. So I've never seen one up close and personal. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah. What
So
about bear?
well, I've seen them, not up close and personal, but we do have black bears here.
Yeah.
And when we hike, we just, you know, we're in their world. So you make a lot of noise, you
That's what my
talk, you have
sister
a
said. Yeah.
bell. You do carry bear spray when you're in the mountains in
Yeah.
BC or here on the island in
Yeah.
Newfoundland. So yeah, yeah. But there's just always awareness, right? And you don't go up to their little baby cubs and go, "Oh, you're so cute."
Yeah. My sister had a story about, actually, she did that when she was young. She came in, oh, there's a cute bear cub out front of
Yeah.
my
We do.
brother scooped her up and it's like, no, we're not hanging around here anymore.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, because they're just protecting their young too, right? That they're vulnerable.
Oh, yeah. They're vulnerable, which gets us into our topic today, which is vulnerability when faced with health challenges. So I've had a couple of conversations with women in the past couple of weeks, and I myself had a very bad fall in Vancouver on the street shopping. And your husband Strat's like, shop
Hmm.
till you drop.
Yeah, I misunderstood the story, and I said she was on a trip
And
and
you're hiking,
tripped,
you said.
and she was hiking and tripped,
Yeah.
and he was like, "I thought she was shopping." I'm like, "No, she wouldn't fall shopping," but
Yeah.
that's how it happened.
Well, no, it
Yeah.
was on the street. So in Vancouver, there's Main Street is known as it. Actually, my sister said it's known as the coolest street in North America.
Mm.
And because it's 30 blocks long of really cool antique stores, used clothing stores, coffee shops, restaurants. So we
Mm.
walked, we got there at 11 a.m. and we were there till like 5 or 6 p.m. So, and the funny thing is here I am, Miss Mindfulness, right? I swear it was those shoes. Remember those shoes that I've gotten that have a little, they're sneakers with a little bit of a stack on them.
Yes.
So, but the pavement is very uneven.
Mm-hmm.
That can't be an excuse because my sister and my niece didn't fall either. But it's like they'll even, and then all of a sudden there's a 3-inch lip on one of the cement separations, and that would be. So I actually stumbled 3 different times when I first started walking that day.
Mm.
I don't know if I was tired or whatever. And the third time I actually fell on my sister. I grabbed her and my niece and didn't fall. But then the fourth time, like, so then everything was fine for like 5 hours. And then we were walking just a block from the car. And I was looking at this school we were talking about, and I face planted on the cement so
No.
hard. I
Yeah.
ate dirt with my mouth.
Oh.
I ate dirt, and it was amazing, a miracle that I didn't get a fat lip or lose a tooth or nothing.
Wow.
I actually didn't scrape, but it was hard. Like it's been like 9 days now, and I still can't straighten my right arm, and my right knee's buggered up. But I didn't like scrape. You know how you can scrape? There was only
Mm-hmm.
one tiny little blood spot on my one finger, which is still, my hand's a little bit sore anyways. So that's my vulnerability story.
Yeah.
I'm leaning into it.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't move my arm for 3 days, but I did call Colleen, our resident doctor friend, my roommate, and she took me through some rotations with my hand and with my shoulder. And she said, well, if you can rotate your hand and your shoulder, there's nothing broken.
Mm-hmm.
And but it was just like soft tissue damage. I just kept my arm close and I leaned into it. I know in the past maybe it's like I think what can happen to people when they're injured or they have surgery, it's like they're kind of upset with themselves or they're frustrated because they want to get things done and they don't allow themselves the downtime.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah. They do. And they also will say things like, I shouldn't have wore those shoes. I'm getting older and I should do this. And now, that arthritis might come in and we start spinning a story that, sometimes it's guilt, there's a lot of guilt goes on. I had a gal who she had injured herself too. And she said she became a couch potato. And she goes, I,
She
got
called
really.
herself a couch potato.
She did. She said, I became a couch potato and, I'd injured myself. I couldn't get back to my yoga, my walking, and I got more and more depressed. And I said, well, did you allow yourself that time to heal? Did you look at it as it was healing? She said, no, I just spiraled down the rabbit hole of, this is me getting older and this is what I have to do and accept this is how it is. And no,
No,
that's not what we have to do.
no.
And you
It
can
takes
be
a
vulnerable.
yes, it's people not being comfortable with being vulnerable,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's like
Yes.
it's like there's a couple of different things that it can be when people are like wanting to get back to work. It's like they don't feel worthy to, to walk on the planet or good about themselves unless they're accomplishing something, getting their groceries, you
Mhm.
know, whatever it is, or working. So they don't feel like a useful human when they're in downtime. Some people don't
Yes.
have they have a hard time resting. Like I
Mhm.
visited an old friend over when I was in Canada and he's like, I have a hard time stopping. Like I've just been go, go, go my whole life. And I have a hard time just stopping. And he's ready to learn how to meditate now. And I'm so happy about that because people just don't know what to do with themselves if they're
Mhm.
resting. My sister-in-law injured her knee really badly in Italy with her daughter and
Mhm.
came back and the now she didn't go with the diagnosis. The doctor was telling her to rest for like 6 months or something, and she was hiking after 2 months. But she would also, she wasn't overdoing it, but she was
Mhm.
also pushing herself just a little bit. So it's that
Yes.
balance.
It is. It is. It is a balance, and especially as we're WO50, we're embracing aging, and with that comes retirement. With retirement, for some people, it's allowing yourself to be and to be comfortable just with not doing anything. So if you have an injury, and that's even tougher because now you're forced to be with yourself. You're forced to, okay, now I can't paint the house and now I can't fix the car and now I can't do this and this, and it's okay.
It's
That
okay.
vulnerability is raw. It's rawness, right? When you look at really the meaning of the word. And then what starts to happen is I always think when we're vulnerable, we're like a different character in a story. So it doesn't matter what anyone else is thinking that character is, because someone might say, oh, you're lazy, or you're really milking this now, aren't you?
Yeah,
It's
people will have their judgments, but it's how you feel about it.
how you feel. None of the rest of it matters. You got to be, you're in your skin. Be comfortable in the skin you're in. So be comfortable with the thoughts you think. But if you're, catching yourself kind of going down the rabbit hole and depression is happening, or you're not doing your physio or your yoga, then something has to be rejigged and to get you back on track. But
Yeah,
there's
and
a
just
timeline, right?
yeah, being patient with the timeline. Because I had the same thing, the couch potato thing. One of our mutual friends had said she listened to the podcast. It was great. And she said it was great timing right now because she's recuperating from knee surgery and she's being a couch potato. And I texted her right back and I said, do not label yourself couch potato just because you're resting. Your
That's right.
leg, which needs rest, it
Yes.
needs your attention. It needs rest. It needs relaxation. It can be
Yes.
relaxation and luxury of reading a book. It doesn't have to be couch potato and lazy.
No, no, it's just that's conditioning. Those are kind of belief systems. If you're not doing something, you're lazy, or Oh, you're getting old. Hey, can't handle it anymore, huh? Well, no, that's not it. It's funny. I'll tell you a little story. When you injured yourself, we must be on the same like energy frequency or satellite disk or something.
We usually
And
are, Ed.
yes, we are. And so I'm playing, of course, pickleball. And there was four of us, and it was a Sunday evening, and we're really playing a lot. And I'm going for every ball, because I'm
That's who you
pickleballer.
are. Yeah.
That's who I am. And I looked like to the other team, I went down, that I had wrenched my knee. So I go down. I'm like, oh God, oh, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, are you okay? You shouldn't have went for that. Did you pull your leg? Did you injure your knee? What you fall?" And I'm like, "No, I whacked the paddle on my ankle bone, thinking it was the pickleball."
Oh, that hurts just hearing about it.
That hurt. That's like hitting your foot in the night of your knee on the corner of wood, and it
Yes.
takes you a minute, and then you have to spring into action again because nobody has any pity for you because it's your fault. You did it, and they're like, "Do you need a minute?" And I'm like, "No, no, no. I'm okay. I'm okay."
Oh my
But
gosh.
it did
Yeah.
take a minute. It did take a minute, and it was, a little bruised, but
Yeah.
I was
But it
like,
was
"Oh no,
okay.
yeah."
Yeah.
But
That's
there are a lot of injuries with this game. So
well,
I tell
because people
people
our age
stretch.
are doing it too, which is gonna,
Yes, they're getting into a sport that can be moving a lot and a fair bit of cardio, and you got to stretch. You
yeah,
have to do your stretches and your yoga and your exercises. You have to be active. You can't just get out of your car and go in and play pickleball. Well, you
yeah.
can, but there's
You're gonna risk your injury more so.
yes,
Yeah.
and as we're getting older, our recovery time is sometimes takes a bit longer because inflammation, lingers a little longer. We're older.
Yeah.
Bottom line,
Yeah.
the
Yeah. And that's the
healing's
thing is like,
slower.
is reality is we are getting older and it's the most natural thing in the world, literally.
Mm-hmm.
And yet we don't have to get stuck in those labels either that things are happening. You know what I'm saying? So it's a balance of accepting where we are at in life, but also being the best that we can be
Yes.
also.
Yes, and it's also changing your relationship with aging. What does it
Yeah.
mean to you, and how, moving forward, what are you doing with all that?
Yeah.
What are you doing preventatively? So when you're, getting into new sports or games or activities or hikes or bikes or travel, what do you do to stay really healthy and well? Because injuries do happen. You could be doing
Yeah.
all that stuff, like you, for instance, and you have that nasty fall.
The body is vulnerable. We are human beings are vulnerable no matter what age you are. You know,
Yes, we are.
that's a and a few people said to me, at our age, hard, falls can be harder. And I'm like, I feel like it would have been the same if I was
Yeah.
20.
Yeah.
However, the recovery time is a little more challenging, it takes a little longer, requires more patience,
Mm-hmm.
of more downtime, more TLC.
Yes.
um
But
you
you're
know
also, the difference between 60, 70, 80, 90. Like, I even watch my mother who's 88, and I say, "Mom, grab your cane." And she, in her mind, thinks she can go as fast
yeah,
as she could at 60.
yeah,
But I'm like, you have to intentionally start slowing your body down. And that's why, doing this work now around being okay to just sit and be for a while. If you play, like my honey went out and played 18-hole golf game with his son and his son's friends, and they're all 30. And the next day he's tired, and I'm like, "Of course you're tired. Take it off, relax, enjoy. Now go outside and paint the house." No, I'm kidding. I didn't say that. I'm good with downtime for anybody. Yeah. But
yeah,
it's like you had, and his son's out running, probably 15 miles the next day,
yeah,
doing his run, and never affected him. So we're all a little different. We're all, if he's playing hockey, I'm like, take the next day to recover. You don't play hockey again the next day. But
yeah,
how beautiful, we're still doing these things with speed and stamina and joy, because it still fuels you, right? It still makes you happy. Your walk in the park, you don't not walk in the park because you're afraid you might fall, right? It's not going to,
Yeah.
this fall didn't stop you from shopping now, has it?
No, no, no.
No, no, it never will, really.
I
No.
wish you were there with us. We had so much fun. You would have loved the
I
shops.
know, and I probably would have caught you, see?
Yeah.
I got your back too, right? You know, so.
My sister caught me the first time. What I think though is kind of funny, and I know not everybody's going to agree with this, but you probably do. It's like sometimes, and it could be just a story, but whenever I have anything physical happen to me, I always just think that I needed energy moved in that area.
Who knows?
Right. We don't know that for sure, but that's instead of being pissed off or mad at myself, that's where I go was it was an accident. Accidents happen. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the fact that I stumbled 3 times before that, just it doesn't tell me that I was just being totally mindless and clumsy. To me, it tells me that I was meant to fall that day.
Mm-hmm.
And I do feel like it was my sneakers, but I was meant to fall that day, meant to move some energy in my body.
And only you know that. Only
Right.
you can feel that. Only you can know that. And yay.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's why things happen. Sometimes, I read a book by Joan Bershenko. She wrote a book called Fried, and I did some workshops with her, and she talked about her car accident and that it had to happen to awaken some of the symptoms that she was moving through herself. And I forget now the whole book because it's years ago I did it. But that when you just said that, that's what I remember about it.
Well,
Because
you
she said
must
it
have
happened for a reason, you know?
right, right. You must have seen that working with cancer patients early on when and you still do in your just in a different way, where, any kind of diagnosis that's either terminal or chronic or there's many different ways to respond, but it's like you can either embrace the challenge or you can become a victim.
Hmm. Well,
And
and it's everybody's different. So
yeah,
everybody's language around an illness, when we're facing illnesses like cancer or really life and death challenges, um, sometimes it's not even staying in the victim mode. It's just not having enough support around them
yeah,
or enough tools to feel confident in what they're drawing from to help heal. So that's why, when someone gets a diagnosis, you're really vulnerable, you're raw, you're exposed, right? And that's got to be the most incredible life-changing um, situation,
yeah,
experience. It has to
yeah,
be. And then how you move forward from it, is challenging. And that's why every day you have to embrace it. Every day you have to just go, okay, I have this tool in my toolbox. I know this is what I can eat today. I know, okay, I've got this session with my doctor. I have my oncologist lined up. I have my naturopath or my life coach. Like every day when we're moving through something that's really life shifting, we have to have team. We have to have someone, you know,
absolutely. The
family.
try
Yeah.
your tribe around you, your support around you
Yeah.
is key. And I think too that one day at a time is such a key, because I think what becomes overwhelming for people in any vulnerable situation is they think it's going to last forever.
Hmm.
Right. And what am I going to do about this and this and this, and they try to plan their life out, which just what am I going to do today, what can I
Yes.
do today? And even
Yes.
people calling themselves a couch potato, it's like, no, today I am resting, today I need rest, and I'm going to walk to the kitchen today, and maybe the next day is walk
Yes.
outside, and then the next day is walk to the end of the block. And what you can do each day, because none of us have a crystal ball, and we don't
No.
know how we're going to be feeling. Like I don't, when I fell, I didn't know if I broke something or not. I didn't know, I just knew each day I knew I felt pretty nauseous and I felt like it could have been broken, but I was like, okay, I'll just wait till tomorrow. And then, just make it every day. I don't know how long it's going to take to heal. And
Hmm.
just being patient with what I can do today, not what I want to do and what's on my to-do list, but
Hmm.
what is my body telling me? And that's what I feel like especially in the West, we don't have patience for. We want to do what we want to do and not what
Hmm.
our body is telling us we have the capability of doing.
Yeah, that's right. I remember when I would, what that just kind of triggered in my brain is when I learned to sail and was sailing, and you get so frustrated when the wind goes out of the sails, and it's very
Right.
much like that in our lives. We're
Nice.
moving along, we're cruising, and the wind's in our sails, and it's beautiful, and the sun's shining, and oh, we didn't see that dark cloud. And next, the wind dies, and the boat stops, and the storm comes. But if we hold on, it passes, and the wind gets back in our sails again. So it might feel like a lifetime, it might feel like a moment, it could feel like one breath. It's different for everybody. So, you know, in my experience, I've had many people come back in and say that cancer became a gift for them because in the gift, the diagnosis was not fun, but the gift was how they changed everything in their life. They
Yeah.
started
How they
embracing,
responded to it.
yeah, they started embracing lifestyles that changed, even how they ate because they were like, well, I should eat a little bit better than how I was eating because my cells are fueling differently now. And if I had this drug or chemo or radiation or, I did whatever kinds of treatments, it could have been vitamin drips, the body works better when it's supported, right? And food is a big part of it, in my practice. And I know in what you do, it's a big part of our lives. And our bodies tend to heal a lot better when our nutrition is better.
Yeah, it's the body's going to heal better by eating salad and sweet potatoes than it is eating Doritos.
Well, yeah, because the food is alive. If you're eating food that's alive and you're not eating as much dead food, what's going to come alive? What's going to
Yeah.
stay alive in your body? Your
Yeah.
cells need nutrients. So, I say to people, if there's dead food on your plate, make sure there's living food on it too. So you got strawberries with, if you got a slice of toast or you have chicken and you got your salad, you want a veggie and a fruit throughout the day, lots of them.
Yeah.
Lots of them. We need our proteins. We need water. We need so many nutrients for our body. And knowing where it comes from, the soil, the store, the package, the brand, the more we know, I think that the faster the body heals because with that comes a belief system of, I'm eating better and that's healing.
Yeah. And
Same.
also, go ahead.
Sorry, the same if people, have strong faiths and they pray and they go, I really prayed for my friend and I lit a candle and there's power in that energy as well. So the belief systems, it could be I meditated for that person. I included them in my walk today. Whatever you're thinking of them.
Yeah.
It's very healing, very
Yeah.
powerful.
And sleep is very healing. So when you're more balanced with your eating and you're in sleeping, I mean, that was actually a big deal with the first, I mean, it is every day, but especially the first 5 days, because
Mhm.
I could only sleep in like one position the first 2 nights, but I slept and I was amazed, like blown away at how much
Yeah.
better I felt after a good sleep. It was just like,
Oh,
wow, that I could only do like this yesterday and now this is happening. It just is mind blowing to me. So looking at
it's
your
amazing.
at sleep and then also noticing how the body's healing, focusing on the healing that's happening and not the limitations that you're noticing, like I can't do that, right? So you can be frustrated for a minute and have a little pity party for yourself, but then be grateful for what you can do and the healing that is happening in your amazing body. I
That's
wanted
right.
to say one more thing about your beautiful metaphor of the wind and the sailing is that it when the wind dies down, you can get upset about it and have a tantrum and be pissed off and not enjoy being on the boat, or you
Mhm.
can just relax and enjoy the downtime. It's like the wind's going to come up when it's, and life is like that. Healing is like
Mhm.
that. Life is like that. People are like that. Like we can be upset whatever we want when plans change, but life is life, and being able to respond to things as they happen is key.
What's beautiful about that when you just said when the wind died down? Well, even on YouTube, I posted a video of the wind dying down while we were on the sailboat and a huge humpback whale breached at the side of our boat up into the air, and it is on video. So if anyone ever wants to see that video, no, but with the whale incident, it's like the wind dies down, the whale breached, and we took it all in, and that was miraculous. That was brilliant. And you take that in, is ominous, it's amazing, and life changing.
Yeah. By
And
being
when we,
present and being okay
yes,
when the wind died down.
yeah, yeah, we're like,
Yeah.
wow, it's a lot of whales here.
What I was going to say is we can post that where our WO50 podcast is on YouTube. We could post the whale video too. That's what I was going to say. And that's what we can mention right now is that if you, so you don't subscribe, you subscribe on YouTube. So if you're following us on YouTube right now, you can subscribe. If you're on a podcast platform like Apple or Google or Spotify or something, you follow us. That's what you do. And please do, if you're enjoying our episodes or enjoy this episode, follow us and write a review and share it with your friends. Because right now it's only people that we share it with that get it. But then if we get enough likes and stuff like that, then Apple and Spotify will start recommending it to people to get out there and help. Because right now we're just you and I just talking, sharing information.
And we've been asked to do it for so long, and it allows us to get to see each other every week. And every person that I've shared it with have said, that is brilliant. I love that, because we share so much in our offices or in a session with our people, and there's so much to share. And, I love sharing.
Yeah.
Sharing is caring.
Yeah. I mean, we're all on this human journey together. All the 7 billion humans on this planet, we're all very similar, no matter what language we speak, what orientation we are, what nationality we are. We're all very similar. And yet we're all having a completely unique experience. Mm-hmm. And so even though, as far as Eddie and I's sort of belief system goes, like we are all one, and probably a lot of people that listen to this get that we're all one, we're even one being, but all having different facets of a different experience as being individuals in this, in this lifetime. And so when we connect with other people, we get to see how similar we all are, and we have more compassion for one another. And, just that connection in that community is just wonderful.
Mm-hmm. And that's what we want to build, is a beautiful community, like minds, and sharing experiences and sharing information, and maybe one title of a book or one little piece of, information or advice or encouragement might be what makes your day. Because I know every day something happens in mine that makes my day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I get to say hi to my BFF
every week. I mean, we did go a couple 3 weeks without doing our podcast, but but we're still I'm still putting them out because we had done, 6 or 7 of them before we started putting them out there. So hopefully they'll come out every Friday is the plan. That's the plan. And if anybody has any topics, I keep telling my friends this, if you have a topic you want us to talk about, either email Eddie or myself, because most likely if you're listening to this right now, you probably know one of us, and, or know somebody that knows one of us. So, we'd love to hear from you to see what right now we're just kind of what inspires us, what we're talking to people about in our day-to-day that we do when we see people. That's what we're discussing, is what's coming up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what we help people with. Yeah.
It's like current events for the soul.
Yeah. So that's another deep dive, Ed. Another deep dive. I love it. So until we meet again,
be kind,
be well, be yourself,
be you,
be